30 minutes and 30 episodes. We are hitting a small landmark, hitting that episode 30, but we got to speed up because we got a lot of shit we want to talk about this week. This is half hour
so much this
Henshin.
week.
Yeah, this is half hour Henshin. This is Sleepy Witch.
And I'm
He's.
DJ.
Yeah,
Yep, and
he's DJ Azure. We're going.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
We're starting off with Geese, like this episode was like all Ziin, and it was amazing.
Yep, I was not expecting. They talked about in the last episode that like some secrets were better left like unknown, and I was wondering what that was going to be about. It came around in the best way possible. Also, really happy with the beginning. The fact that like Ace is knocked out, and like I'm like, oh my god, is he really gonna find out some way to like outsmart this while actually being passed out? But no, just Tycoon and
No.
Nago save him, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I'm glad
Also,
there wasn't.
Yeah, if there's one thing that made me laugh about that entire sequence was the CG Kawa, because I don't think they actually have a suit for Jet Tycoon, so they had that and then had him transform immediately so they could go back to suit, so they could go to suit Tycoon Cannon.
Yep.
It's so funny. I love tricks like that.
Yep, I mean that's how you gotta do it. The opening continues to be very fun with the supporter roles, which oh man, this was basically
There's
a supporter
so
role
many
episode.
Yeah,
Uh,
so many supporter things this episode. So good.
this was
Oh
basically
man.
supporter the episode.
Yeah.
Jin was super sad. Ace almost died, and Jin is starting to realize like what mortality means, and he's like, "Is this the emotion I was seeking?"
Yeah, it's like I love that scene. Like he really does he really does look like a person that is learning emotion for the first time, and it's like, damn.
And I mean,
Like,
he kind of is, but at the same time, you know, he's talking about everything before was manufactured, everyone's supernatural, their lifespans follow a design. So Jin is for the first time feeling what it means to like live and possibly die for what you believe in this case. If I leave the
yeah,
world permanently and never get to see you again, I never imagined it to be this agonizing. Like it's I don't know, it's some cool scenes, and it's really nice seeing that, you know, we really go from like Ace like an episode or two ago basically yelling and then being like, my life is not for your amusement, uh
hmm
and us getting a little bit more details on the whole Ace thing
yeah.
with
It was actually cool. Like, you know, he's like, you know, he kept, so he actually, so like pretty much I just love how ever since this reveal they really have been like showing that they've been continually proving and disproving the whole, yeah, Ace has been around for a millennia, but technically the title of Ace has, the name Ace has been going around for the 2 millennia.
Yep. And he's been with that coin and with that name for this whole time.
Yeah, it's super cute.
I also don't I'm also wondering if we're going to see more of that first life specifically, because he literally says, the moment I realized my mom was never going to come back to me, my first life met its end. And I wonder if we're going to see any more of that, or if that was literally like he realized his mom wasn't coming back and he like killed himself or something. Darn.
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
Also
And just
then
like I was saying, Zin the episode, because he starts crying, and I'm like,
he starts
what?
crying right before it. It was also really funny because the other supporters are like spying on those through the fucking spider phone and fucking seeing them just have their reactions to the whole Zin thing. But yeah, Zin crying and him being like I don't know why this is happening. I don't get it. And Geese being like, isn't this the emotion you want?
Yeah, I like he actually understands. He's starting to understand that like it isn't a game.
Yep.
And then and there's the line that you're waiting for.
Yep.
I would have left your secrets buried if I knew.
Yep. And it's like isn't this the emotion you wanted? I never could have imagined the emotion I yearned for was this torturing. I would have left this alone. It's so good. It's so cool. I really liked it. It's a really cool emotional like through line for these two, talking about how you live right now is what's important. And then it just immediately cuts to the Sengoku game. We're getting the attack from near him. We go back to like you were talking about having the slight like sepia filter.
Yeah, it's really funny because it's so like semi oversaturated when it shows Baroba like reintroducing the game, and then it just goes to just sepia tone. And
Baby, we're going. Yep, getting to
I
see
I
people
I
fight in like,
love this scene
yeah,
because
getting
yeah,
to see
like
everyone
you're
fight in like the regular ass like just samurai costumes is sick.
yeah, and after that, yeah, even the producer is a badass. They're like saying we don't even need to protect him, do we? It's so funny.
Yeah, he's
Love
just
that.
killing. Everyone transforms. We get to see the fucking set creation as well. We haven't seen that in a
Yeah.
little bit. See Geets kick some ass. Baroba's Glare 2 login Henshin, which is sick, but you won't be using the Red Fox, but he predicted it, and it doesn't matter because he runs out of time basically from using
Yeah.
it for like 1 second. And then again, in the episode, I
Yeah.
still don't know what it means to live right now, but I do know one thing. And then he just rushes into the field with the laser, and it's like, oh, it's so cool. Baroba wasn't expecting it and just gets fucking blasted back.
hmm Yeah, and it's just so good. Like he just puts it on him, and then we
Yep.
get like
I know one thing. I am your supporter, and it's like, yeah,
yeah, and then and it's also super cute too. And with that, let's kick off our highlight, and he's doing the pose with it. It's
yeah,
so
bro,
cute.
they're matched up. They're
I love
squatted
it
up,
so much.
especially because this
Yeah,
time, I think this is the first time. I don't know if I've seen it. Ace usually does his little snap just for his transformation. I think this is the first time he's done like the fox into the snap.
I think so. Yeah, actually.
Because he actually does his little like fox hand
Oh
sign
yeah, yeah,
to his face, and then he snaps, and I'm like, yo, we got the extra little like pre-henshin
yeah,
fox, baby. Dual
yeah. And then
on
we get
laser boost.
yeah, and then we get like the whole like super like 360 camera fight as well too,
Yep,
where it's like it's
yep.
not as high definition, which is
I
also
definitely,
always
I
funny about it.
yep, I definitely really dig this suit as well. Like I like the red fox. They somehow made the light blue, white, and the red and black work really well together.
Actually,
Uh,
we didn't talk about that, about how it's like well, I'm your supporter, so I had to dress you up in my color a bit. I'm like, oh my god, this
oh,
is so
it's such a good
good.
line. It's such a good line. Let's kick off our
It's,
highlight. They're both doing the pose. It's it's
yeah,
it's so good. I gotta dress you up in my color. And then I
yeah.
always love the joke like you'd pummel a defenseless maiden. Is like, aren't you 350?
Don't ask a woman. Don't say a woman's age. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so funny.
Don't ask a woman in the future her age, okay? And then
Yeah.
Buffa steals the driver.
Yeah, and dude, the barrel of a face when he steals the driver is so
Yeah,
funny.
I love her face afterwards because like she's so shocked and like annoyed, and he's like, "Didn't you tell me to take advantage of you?" And she's like, "Nah."
Yeah, yeah, it was really funny. And then like actually right before that, he's trying to give back the laser eyes buckle, and it's like no, this is a gift to you.
Remember
Just
me
remember
once in
me
a
once.
while. Yeah, and then
This is in the episode.
I love how he's basically like I'm gonna go live my own life and I'm gonna stop engrossing myself in other eras. And he's like, you gotta come by once in a while, you're Geet's official #1 supporter, aren't you? And then it ends with the like, I'm gonna trust those words. Like, just because in the first Red Fox episode we got the "Can you trust my words?" and it's like he's gonna trust them, and it's such a cute, wholesome thing for both of them.
Yeah, and then Buffa, and then we end on Buffa going to the goddess of creation.
Yep. To pay her a visit.
Whew.
Once I have the other driver, you will grant it in my ideal world.
Yeah,
And then we get the possessing both drivers allows you to access the goddess remaking powers, but we kind of knew that. We're gonna be seeing
yeah,
the next game. All I know is that we're gonna be bullying Nago this time.
yes.
Which
Oh, yeah, and she's gonna meet Kyun, I think.
yep,
And, like officially, it looks
it
like.
looks like she's gonna meet Kyun. We're gonna see what's happening. Not I mean that seems like it's gonna be an interesting episode. I'm not happy about bullying. It's gonna be the reverse of the stop bullying KO. It's gonna be don't bully Nago. Uh,
We'll see. We'll
we'll
see.
see. But
Oh man,
with
that
that
was.
we're keeping good time. Osama Sentai King Oger.
Oh wait, are we gonna talk about that? We're not gonna take a break
Oh
for
yeah,
comments?
we kind of do them in the middle. You know what? You're right. Okay, so Two massive verse titles to talk about this week. Inferno Girl Red issue 3, finishing up the saga. Not super going into spoilers here because we are going to go into those. We're gonna do it like an Inferno Girl Red like first book like review for this first arc.
Yeah, or just a massive verse in general, because like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
I mean, I feel like we're just gonna individually go
yes,
into all of them.
yeah, I mean, like Supermassive 2 is coming up soon, so like May I think it is. So I'm like, oh my god, I can't
Oh
wait.
my god, we got. Look, this
Yeah.
is basically fueling all my comic love right now because it's been so good. Anyway, Inferno Girl Red.
I mean, you're the one that got me into it.
I did, and you know what? It's good. Inferno Girl Red
It is
3 keeps delivering. The art's still phenomenal. The story ends up wrapping up in a really good way that basically set up these first 3 issues as like an origin story for the Inferno Girl Red we're following, and like a setup for what the status quo is going to be like afterwards or continuing on. Some cool stuff with the roommate, and with finally finding out having this badass villain fight. We're still getting these awesome transformation sequences with like basically them having a jingle, the jingle for the bad guy, the jingle for Inferno Girl Red, and in full like Hoku fashion, you know,
we get a mid-season.
we get a mid-season suit upgrade in the first book. It's so good. It gets its own jingle. We got second form, and it's so cool. And we got and it's all done through like the power of belief in themselves. Yeah. And we get the fucking believe in the dragon, and now we've set up an obstacle and a goal, and it leads into some really, really, really sad pages.
Yeah, it does. It does. Like, yeah, there's so much emotion. In these
especially the fact that goes from that one really sad one basically to an entirely just blank black page just to feel the void. Inferno Girl Red, pick up all 3 issues in a couple months. Yeah. Probably pick up the trade. It's super good. You're not gonna regret it. There's only so much.
Yeah, there's only so much we can say without spoiling. But then again, I mean, like, yeah, like this is a story that's been going on for like what? I mean, like, well,
it's been like what, 3 or 4 months now. Yeah, look, get on it. Massive verse, Radiant, all the Radiants. You know, black, red, pink. So far, I'm sure we'll get a yellow at some point.
I hope so. Like, because like we talked about this. I think the last time we talked about massive verse where we got
the Radiant Black issue about Radiant Yellow, where it's basically set in 3 different time periods at the same time.
Yeah, oh god, that was depressing.
Beautifully done, wonderful artistry.
Yeah,
but yeah, all the Radiants, Rogue Sun, the Dead Lucky, Inferno Girl Red, and now No One, which we're about to talk about. But secondly, I'm just wondering, you know, we got all the different color Radiants. I wonder if we're gonna see other Inferno colors at some point.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we also might get like an extra Ranger, but I'm not sure. I mean, the funny thing is that we have Radiant Black, but the thing is though that he's colored blue, so they can't technically have a Radiant Blue.
Yeah.
Unless the whole thing. I mean, I haven't seen like since the last trade, so I'm not sure if they like, you know, considered the split part blue and black. I don't know.
Yeah, I think technically they're both Radiant Black, but anyway, who is No One and No One issue 1? I'm just gonna read out the Azure.
Okay. Yeah. So what people need to know about No One is that there is a comic and there is a companion podcast, like just a 30-minute podcast, and it's really well done.
The production value on it is like super good. The voice line recording for it is done really well. They do sounds. They'd have the voice acting for it is pretty phenomenal. And it basically is like a prequel, and it is being basically done by the reporters who are basically covering the No One like case, because No One is a story about a town where this hacker has basically hacked into a bunch of records, basically found these people who are maybe guilty of these things and let that information leak. And then someone who's going by the alias Richard Rowe basically ends up committing a bunch of these murders, trying to get these people, being like, there will be accountability. It's good. I really like it, but
okay. So it's really funny because you listened to it first and then read it, and
I
then
did.
but I read it and then listened to it. And the reason why I listened to it was because like I knew there was a podcast, but not gonna lie, I did not know how to get to it until I turned the page and it had the QR code for it. So I think you are meant to listen to it after you read it.
I think here's
But
the thing. I think they give you the thing, and technically, timeline wise, I think you are meant to read it to listen to it afterwards, because in
mhm,
the comic you get the reporter lady and the dude talking about starting the podcast.
yes,
So
yeah,
so
like
so timeline wise, you would read the comic and go listen to the podcast that they made, uh,
mhm,
which I think is now they released the podcast before they released No One Issue One by like a week or something like
mhm,
that. So that's why I ended up listening to before, because they talked about it kind of like it's going to be like a little prequel, and so I think there's going to be like basically like a prequel to each one. Um, but yeah, it's unfortunately it's one of those things where it's not really a full experience without the podcast. On the other hand, it's also like the podcast is free. It's 30 minutes of honestly really entertaining stuff. They go
mhm.
through, and the voices they have for like No One and Richard Rowe for the thing are really sick. All the other general stuff is just also pretty cool, and just everything setting up the whole mystery. But yeah, Azure
Yeah, like
Azure, who read them in the other order, sent me a message where it's like reads No One. I mean, this isn't that good. They're spamming characters. There's no build up. It's just scattered vignettes, and it's like listens to no one. Oh God, I understand everything. This is fucking amazing.
that was literally the experience because it's like I basically like the nice thing is that like you turn the page, you bring up the podcast, and then you're listening to it. Like honestly, the audio for it is like, oh wow, it's like I did not expect it to like already pull me in
Yeah,
like the
it's
moment it started. And then after that, I turn the page and there's like there's like timelines of everything
yeah.
that's
There's a
happening, and
timeline. There's like a fake like Wikipedia page of one of the characters, so you can see the thing. You get to see the
yeah,
Richard
like
Rowe murders, a timeline. They basically set up everything.
yeah,
Um,
like it's a crazy hybrid experience, and honestly, it's something that was really surprising. Like honestly, reading it first, and it's like it was like, this is weird. And then after that, like the fact that like they it's kind of funny. They did subliminally like say that like talk about the podcast endlessly in the comics. So I'm like, okay, fine, I guess I'll listen to it. And then okay, everything makes sense now. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
but here's the thing. I like this. The podcast is an extra thing because here's the thing. There's sometimes people, and I understand this. Like when you sometimes when you go to something like a movie and you're like, oh my god, to really understand this movie, you got to go read the book that it's based on or this other thing. And sometimes
Mhm,
that can feel like a chore. But I've never cared that much if the thing they're leading me towards is good. And this
mhm.
podcast was good. And again, it wasn't like, they're making me buy a whole other thing. It's like, it's literally a free thing. Like, they wouldn't have to make a podcast, you know? But
Yeah.
they've definitely chosen a whole way to do this experience, and
Mhm.
I really dig it. The vignettes ended up, again, it was one of those things where like as I read the comic, because I'd listened to the thing, I was like putting all the pieces together, seeing the, and I finished the comic and I'm like, man, I actually like had the thought like I think Azir's gonna be really confused if he doesn't read the rest of the podcast.
And then you were proven right when
Yeah,
I sent you that message.
yep. That's
Oh man,
look,
that was fun. That
that's
was
how it
fun.
is. The stuff for No One is dynamic. It's cool. It is setting up a mystery, that's for sure. So I want to see how it goes. There's
Yeah.
multiple. Seems like there's the Richard Rowe, but there's also like multiple copycat killers and like. Oof.
Yeah. And it's basically kind of I want to say a Batman figure, but yeah, it's just like,
It's
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 like
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 yeah,
it, it,
it's
it's
like a
yeah,
guy without powers trying to do something by being smart
yeah.
and by having stuff. I
Yeah, and then having a copycat like basically like just kind of just try to destroy his work, and he's like saying, "No, this is no justice. Killing is not the justice." I'm
Yep.
like,
Because
damn.
yeah, because I mean the thing that he was asking for when he makes because eventually basically when he drops all the information, he basically goes, "Hey, you've done something wrong. Turn yourself in, face justice, or you know justice
I
will
will.
be." Basically, he would be like, "Go confess." He'd basically bring out a name, be like, "You go confess, and if you don't, I'm gonna bring you into the light." And basically, if they wouldn't confess, if nothing changed, what he would do is he would basically just like dig up all their secrets and be like, you actually, we're doing medical malpractice and doing all this other stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then, but he wanted to leave that still to the justice system, to the courts, to, not just randomly murder these people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good now. Like I am fully invested now. Like the moment I heard that podcast, I'm like, yeah, I'm invested.
Yep.
I'm
I
invested.
mean, I feel like that's how I've been basically with every Massive Verse book. Like, I read the first one
Yeah.
and I'm like, oof, I'm in. This one just had
Ah,
30 minutes more. Uh,
yeah. Talking about 30 minutes. We're on the last 30 minutes of and
we're on the
talking about
last
our last
third,
show.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah,
King
let's
Oger.
go.
We ended up with the Battle of the Bugs last episode. We got Lord Kabuto versus Lord Kumawagan. Uh, they basically get blasted and they think it's Rackles, but it's actually Dybowski.
Yeah.
God, I
Oh
love
man.
this opening. That last little riff is stuck in my head. The da 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 da.
Yeah.
That shit is just blasting through my head 24/7 these days.
Yeah.
Sebastian
Yeah.
somehow ended up with them. He's her butler. He TP'd. We don't even know he wasn't in the explosion room, but he showed up.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's really funny seeing Sebastian just act
I
at
feel
her
like
whim. And it's
Sebastian is gonna be. Did you ever watch Metabots?
um
Sebastian is just
I
Mr. Referee.
dude,
I,
that makes sense.
Did you? Yeah, because that was my favorite joke in Metabots. So literally, they would have a fight anywhere, and
Mhm.
Mr. Referee would literally like pop in from like the sewers or some shit, be like, "And I'm here to referee this."
And it's really nice too because like he's actually the one, he's actually giving Yanma water and stuff like that when he needs it. And it's like he's like
He is just like chill.
just
He's
deal
just a
with her,
chill, nice
please.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that we see Yanma and Rakla's actually like talking to each other about Kabuto.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
And
we get to
then
see Tofu, and you get to see fucking Gira try to do his evil king act or whatever. And
Mhm.
just Dybowski immediately just like thinking and being like, first of all, the fact that this man is like all just kabuki themed, and even his crying, the oh, 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 oh,
Yeah,
it's
they like
so good. This man goes so hard on the aesthetics, and it's like, to
yeah,
think that you would take a stand against a cruel and wicked king. You
yeah.
truly are a savior.
Yeah, it's yeah, like he basically really like showed himself as like the liar to get what he wants. And
Yep.
it's so well done. And like yeah, like it really does fit in with the no theater kabuki theme that he has going on.
Yep.
And and after that, like just how sus it is of I will join you immediately. And like Gear's like I'm not sure if Gira believed him immediately because he wasn't excited when he said he'd join him.
No, I didn't. I also really like the whole thing where they're like giving him food, and Gira's like, "Oh, it's covered in dirt, and it's got bugs on it too." And Dybowski stops them from interfering, and he's like, "That's how food should be." Just fucking starts chomping
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I think that just might be because like the fact that he lived in an orphanage
he
and like
lived in an
didn't live
orphanage.
in
No, it's here's the thing. Regardless, like the appreciation for food and from where it's grown and all that stuff. That stuff is really cool. God, Dybowski's outfit is just so good too.
yeah, like I love that outfit. And I just love how like I just love how wait, actually no, I just realized they probably filmed this in Geats at the same time. They probably filmed it in the same village.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Hey, that's how you'd
Oh
save money, bro. You gotta stagger those shots. Anyway,
yeah.
beautiful village fight with Bugnarok. We'll get to see we get to see blue and yellow doing their thing.
Mhm.
Dybowski shows up, basically promising to hand over the shoe god.
I love this. I love this fight because like it starts off with Yanma just yeeting his sword. It's so funny. And then of course like just Hime just jumping on him using him as a platform. It's so funny.
Yep, and it's another cool way just for them to show off their personalities. Yama's a man who gives no fucks and will just chuck his shit. Hime's someone who will use other people to get into an advantageous position. It's very nice, cool little just like micro writing. Fucking Dybowski shows up, says he's gonna give up the Kabuto, and then just pieces out, ignoring the other two king.
Yeah. Man, I just really love how the Bugnarok king and like an advisor just don't care.
Yep. I also really like that, like when they teleport, they like have like magma that comes pick them up, and they got basically like a little tunnel to like the center of the earth kind of vibe going on for
Hmm.
their escape.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I just kind of like in Toku is that the fact that like when the bad guys just need to peace out, they can all just like teleport out, and obviously it's a lot for like plot contrivances and stuff. But when they do cool little things like this, I can't help but like find it cool or fun.
Yeah, and then we see Rita is like like researching like other things that are going around in like records and stuff.
Yep. I really
Yeah.
love the little CG of them right before we see into the Dybowski castle where all the bugs are just chilling outside.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then we get a very funny scene of them eating.
yeah, it's really funny. Like they're all like just ignoring the fact that they can't like they just want to eat the good food, and Devassi like saying yeah, you're not gonna be able to eat anymore if you don't help save us now.
Yep. I also find it really funny that he basically flips the table, and then when one of his guys fucking catches the fucking hot pot tray with his bare hands directly.
Yeah. And then after that, like, yeah, and then once they agree, like, I just love the idea that like, they're all trying to come up with a plan. It's like that we will exterminate the filth, and I will conquer the world. It's like just don't get in. I was like, I'll come up with a plan. Don't slow me down. And then Himeno's just like, but they're like, I don't care about the specifics, but their heads will be mine. And then like they're so scattered, like they're not united
Yep,
at all.
they're
It's
so
so
scattered.
funny.
They're all doing their own thing, and then we have fucking the Basquios playing our sides. You guys are all truly saviors.
And then they're all just like enjoying the hot pot.
I
It's
also
so
love that when he's really trying to like get Gira, he's just like, boo hoo hoo, who will think of the children?
yeah. And then after that said, here, let me give you my treasure, a tomato.
Yep. You slack-jawed Tanuki better not slow me down though. Fucking
Yeah.
love his dumb Tanuki slide. It's good.
Yep. And then after that, then like and then we face off against the Bugnarok again, and then we get Dybowski's transformation. Like honestly, Dybowski might as well just be a reaction image generator at this point. Like
Dybowski's a shit post generator. I love him. I love the fact that even his transformation is like kabuki. He like fucking sits down and like the fucking storytelling like oh god, was it like Rakugo almost?
yeah.
Oh my god. And then he gets up and he does like the fucking stomp and he just fucking blows up a bunch of Bugnaroks with it.
Yeah. And then he introduces himself like properly as like after he kicks a bunch of people's butts. And then
Yep.
and then they combine with the gods, and then it's like, nope, that's not Raklis, it's Dybowski.
It's the
And then
Bowski, but fucking Gira was able to tell right away because even though with everything he still protected the fields, even though there were no people, because he values the food. And then then he gets fucking the other shoe god basically to like acknowledge him because he wants to fight for justice, which is cute. You will
Yeah.
join us, crew. Join us too, Kabutan. And they just have just like kind of like a bug hug.
Yeah, it's cute. And then after that, then they get the Kabuto bazooka.
The
And
Kabuto bazooka is super sick.
yeah, also I just love how everyone else has like the sword on their on their like exoskeletons, while Dybowski has a fan.
Yes.
It's so fitting. Yeah.
Yep, it's really good. I also like that because Himene already has the like leg that's like slices, so I was wondering if like Dybowski being the B leg was gonna be just the same thing, but no, his little thing is that like the B can like detach and attack.
Yeah, that's great. And then once they kill the Ragnarok, we get to the part that everyone was waiting for. Yeah, like Rita's appearance, and it's like the moment they like have zooming in on a handshake, he's gonna hold on to it harder, isn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
I thought it was gonna be another Himeno where he was gonna like handcuff him right away. But also I really like at least the translations I've been looking, whenever he's been saying like Nakama, it's been translating it to crew, so every time I've been watching it, I've been like, this is giving me One Piece vibes.
Of course.
He's out here looking for his crew to sail the seventh.
And then Rita shows up. Also, I really like how they keep saying Sovereign Rita instead of like king or queen.
Yep, it's sovereign, baby. We got no gender here.
Yep, and it's great too. Actually, wait, didn't I call this? Didn't I call this that he was gonna capture Gira himself, and so that Rita could judge him?
Yes, I think you did. I think we did have this conversation, but then
Yeah.
But then at the last moment, Yama figures it out. He's like, he lied about the negotiations. We took the bugs. His country's nowhere off. He worked every single angle to pull this off. And yeah, Dybowski just gives him a sly little like smile, like turns at him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I beg your forgiveness. And you see the grip fucking tightening. But I love this.
Yeah.
The people are my life. For their sake, I will cover myself in mud and dirty my hands.
Mm-hmm.
As he tightens, that is who I am, the lordly king, Kugarai Dybowski. God, Dybowski's such a good name.
Yeah, it's so extra. Everything about him is extra. It's all a lie. It's all theater. It fits. It fits.
Yep.
Oh man, and then we get the next episode preview that we've been waiting for because we've all been waiting for Rita. I think a lot of the West was really just waiting for Rita,
everyone has been waiting for Rita. I was the one I was waiting for today. I was waiting for Dybowski, and I was not disappointed. I was here. Dybowski looked sick as shit. Dybowski looked funny as shit, and I was not disappointed in any way, shape, or form.
Yes. So far, I have not been disappointed either. Yeah.
And then I love how the thing is like, look, he trespassed on Tofu. No doubt about that. And it's like, all right, we're gonna be judging you. And then we're gonna see Gira stuck in like a fucking in his snowman. Yeah.
It's actually really funny because apparently, actually, do you know any of the spoilers for Rita or no?
No, I do not.
Okay, then I'm not gonna say.
Let's not get into it. Just let me go into it blind. I'll try to keep it vibing.
Yeah, it's mostly stuff that was revealed in the stage show early, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say it out loud. So it's like I know stuff, but it's actually been hinted at in the opening and this episode preview, but I'm not gonna say what. It's so good. Right. I love it.
Well, that only gives you more stuff to look forward to. Next week is gonna be sick. And we're basically doing right on time as far as things go. We hit it up. We fucking did we talked about all the stuff we wanted to talk about within our 30-ish minute approximate time. And with that, thank you as always for joining us on this journey of Tokusatsu. Hopefully soon you'll be hearing from us talking to Neon Writer, and I mean a couple other things hopefully in the works. Thanks as always, and we will see you next week.
Later.
This program is brought to you by
our unending love of Tokusatsu.
If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like and subscribe.
And hit the bell for notifications. And if you would like to support us further, consider becoming a patron at our Patreon, Half Hour Henshin.
You can get some exclusive benefits, such as your name in the credits and joining our sticker club. Or, if you want to help with a one-time donation,
you can also find us at Ko-fi at Half Hour Henshin. You can email us with any questions or theories at halfhourhenshin@gmail.com or on Twitter at halfhourhenshin.